Okay, Andrew said. Today is December 8th, and the year is 2021, Andrew said. I'm dealing with some stuff here that doesn't make me smile. I usually smile. I'm not in a smiley mood to talk about this. It's about the theme this week, a father. I've been posting this week, and the Andrew Said piece addresses the theme for the week. So here we are, right in the middle of this theme, a father. And I did my face like that and looked away from the camera because it comes with feeling. And so the ums are fillers. And the smile hides the pain, which many fathers are in, pain. That's another filler because it masks the anger. Lots of fathers, I didn't say a lot of, I said it the way my daughter said, lots of fathers are angry. Now, she didn't say the angry part, she just said the lots part. And what that means is we have fathers who are masking their emotions, have walls up. Their children can't get past that wall, and if they do either get past it, climb over it, penetrate it, they run into some angry man. I suspect from the literature most men are angry. And it's almost a normative, if you will. I would say this. Angry men make angry fathers. Angry fathers make angry children. Now you see the smile, that's simply because I'm a happy person, but it's also to try and couch and soften the blunt of that blow. I'm on the roll here. I'm on a campaign, in fact. I'm campaigning for fathers. I put out a post, and one of the women, one of the faithful women, in fact, of our assembly said mothers too. And I felt that it was her comment was improperly, inappropriately, uninformed, or, but it wasn't a part of my context. I'm not addressing the displacement of mothers. I'm addressing the displacement of fathers. I don't argue, but I will on this one because it has 400 years of history to it. I have friends of all ethnic persuasions from all over the world, in fact. You name the country, you name the continent, I've got friends there from just being friendly. And so I'm careful to operate within my historical contextual understanding, and that is that number one, fathers are kind of fathers in general by scriptural renderings, but are not lumped in that whole general fathers in general by cultural, social, psychological. The subsets make us different. In math they taught us about denominator, numerator. Well, the numerator is different. Denominator is the same. We're, as a father, a man, a seed, a baby. That's denominator. Numerator is the outcome. Something happens in the process that culturally, governmentally, legislatively, whatever, circumstantially, that determines the differentiation that we see amongst ethnic men and the differences in their behaviors with their quote-unquote children. Now, some of the literature points to at least literature that I recently looked at of 20 that's 21 years old, that 65% of households in communities of color, that is my communities, are headed by mothers, no father. What is worse, and I've mentioned this in my sermon Sunday, when we got to the 90s, which was probably 20 or 30 years, 30 years, maybe even from there, we had a lot of laws, legislations where the family was ripped apart, in particular in our communities, because of the incidence of cocaine, crack in fact. Not a lot of difference chemically between crack and cocaine. I was a substance abuse counselor and studied it, so I know what's happening. Cocaine was in the urban community. Crack was in the hood. It was a cheaper brand. It could be mixed and made and sold, and so the legislation pointed to the urban mix, though the strong mix was even worse. So what happened was, as a result of the fathers were ripped out of the homes, the mothers were left with angry children who felt that daddy left because he didn't like me. It wasn't that daddy didn't like the child. The daddy sometimes was hustling because he was trying to make money, sometimes hustling because he was addicted, sometimes hustling because of whatever. All the whatevers are for you to fill in. But we're on the other end now of a journey that really started about 50 years ago when we decided that we shall overcome. What we overcame was not as bad as what we have become. We have become something that I was listening last night to one of these old, and I was really researching some old songs that we used to sing here, listen to, and groove on back in the day. Daddy's home. Well, daddy ain't home. You know, daddy may be coming home to mommy, but daddy ain't coming home to the kids. And what daddy's coming home to mommy for is doing really nothing to nurture the kids. Now, I'm just talking. I had I asked my wife to do some research for me because she has she has taught special needs children all her life, and for I guess 13 years, maybe more, I don't know, 10 years maybe, we raised, after we raised our children, we raised foster care children, all of whom had issues. Praise God, some really turned out, got married, did some good things, went to college, but came into the house with some serious issues. Talking about, I'm gonna throw your dog down the steps, I'm gonna dump this flower pot on your white sofa. To the degree of throwing clothes out the upstairs window when it's snowing, and you're trying to embarrass me in front of the neighborhood, and or sitting right in the middle of the street waiting for a car, talking about car run over me. So my wife's recent research, and this is dated recently, just a couple days ago, she did this research for me. 7 features of 5 children who come from daddy ain't home. Poor school attendance, and some of the reason for that is mom just don't feel like getting up being bothered. And this that I'm looking at is in the handwriting of the behavioral interventionist who provided the information for us. Number 2, low reading scores. Baby can't read. I'll digress. Our daughter and her husband, our grandson, our 5 grandboys, their daddy reads to them. These guys, you're talking about 1.5, 3.5, 5.5. They read. And I'm almost out of time, but I want to deal with a couple more things because I want you to get this, because I need us to get it, because we need to get on. We don't need to just show up when the bullet flies through the window. We need to get ahead of the bullet and deal with why the gun. So number 3, low to just average math scores. Now, I'm not saying to you math is everything, but if you can't read and write and add and figure out stuff, I'm afraid that the outcomes are going to be tragic, or at least they will have limitations on them. So, number 4, low comprehension scores. That is to say, baby ain't understanding what teacher's talking about, or is it not low understanding, and it's the inability to focus because of the distractions from dysfunction. I'm just talking. Andrew said. Number 5, limited parental support. And though parent seems to be the inclusive language or word for daddy, mommy, father, mother, no, we're talking about children who are dysfunctioning because father ain't there. So when we talk about, in technical terms, from these institutions, lack of parental support, we're not talking about parents, we're talking about parent, mom, who's tired, stressed out, sick of it, sick of daddy, and has in some cases tragically trained the kids to be sick of daddy too. Number 6, traumatic experiences. Now this bothers me because it's why we have so much. I mean, even this whole issue of sex trafficking. I heard of a community that put a guy out of the community because he sold his 10-year-old daughter to some 65-year-old guy who bought her for $2,000 for his, I don't know what number of wife she was in line. I'm a pretty upstanding guy, but I have a problem with that, and would probably be ready to go to war on this old man. I mean, you see the smile on my face because I don't want you to see the fight in my heart, but if we don't rise up and do better, we're going to be guilty of losing an opportunity forever to have sanity, civility, et cetera, all those synonyms. Number 7, preoccupation with sex information. I shudder to think what Hollywood has done to us and what all of the subsidiary institutions have done to us in the proliferation of that, at the same time marketing that and making money at our tragedy. Our obsession, our appetite is destroying us while making them, that ubiquitous them, making them rich. So I take the position that this is serious business that we must engage in, and that is the business of fathering. We've got to, I'm inviting every man who's looking at this, every mom who's looking at this, to go get your man to look at this and to hear my heart. We're going into the Christmas season. My son said to me before I came on, he said, Dad, what has Christmas become? I said, you know what it's become. You're intelligent, you're a leader, you're smart. We've commercialized, I mean, we try to outdo each other, putting up the most lights, and then get mad when the electric bill is too high to pay. I'm not so sure that we have the proper focus. So while on that, and because I'm in this Advent/Christmas theme of Isaiah 9:6, for unto us a child is born, and I'm going to be preaching about that Sunday, so you're invited to attend. Unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, and that's where we were last week. This week, this Sunday, Mighty God, Everlasting Father. And you need to be there with me on that, because the Father, he operates from the, I call it the 3 P's. Prominent, partner, and pal. You've got to be prominent in your child's life. You've got to be their partner. Walk life out together until you drop off the earth. And you don't die till you're done. And if you're going to die, then you prepare, for them to pick up where you left off to get it done. But so you have to be their pal. So here are 9 other things. Father has to be a pilot, a priest, a prince. I know that's right. You got to dance with your daughter and fly with your son. pioneer, practitioner. You got to take on being a father. I mean, you proud that you know, whatever. No, be proud. Above your position in your vocation, be proud that you are the best dad. You the dad who got the plaque for being the dad. You be a provider, a prophet, a protector, and a promoter. I promote. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. You got to promote your children. Don't wait for the school to promote. Don't wait for Jumpin' Jimmy to promote. If Jumpin' Jimmy promotes your child going to jump just like Jimmy jumps. Now, I just said that because I just felt like it, but whoever promotes your child, that's who they become. Which leads me to close, and I will close. You've got to have a vision before you father. Have a vision for your child. You ought to know the outcome for your child before the input. So before you plant the seed, know what the tree is going to look like. Well, that's it for today. That's Andrew said. Meet me in prayer. You got the schedule. You know, that's every day, 5 days a week. Dial in. You know the routine. Saturday, Sunday, you know that. Meet me tonight. You got the schedule. I'm looking for you to join me in every way conceivable. We've got to take back what we let the devil steal from us, fathers. Andrew said.